Good morning, children. Today again we are going to start with another very important and inspiring, very motivating lesson, the sound of music. So now, my dear children, there are many characters in the world that become the inspiration, that become the motive behind our success also. Therefore, it is well said, my dear children, that life of all great men remains us, and we can also make our life sublime. That exactly means just by reading the life story of the great people in the history, we can also make our life great and successful. And this is chapter number 2 of our class 9 book, The Beehive, and here we will see in the part 1 the character Evelyn Glennie. So she becomes so famous. Now, my dear children, before starting this lesson, we will see what is the simple formula of success. Do you know what is the simple formula of success? So many people say that success means 99% perseverance plus 1% inspiration is equal to success. Okay. Now here we what we will see a little different formula for the success, and this one is the hard work and the willpower, the hard work and the determination that actually become the keynote of success, that become the cornerstone of success. So before starting, we will see the title, The Sound of Music. So there are two parts, and we will be starting with this first part, and in this first part we will be seeing the protagonist here. The main character is Evelyn Glennie. Evelyn Glennie is the main character or the hero here. And the background of this lesson is, Scotland. Means this particular lesson actually starts in Scotland. Evelyn Glennie was a Scottish girl, and she was from the countryside, means from the village side, from the side of the village where there are a lot of farms, unlike London where you can see huge buildings, big offices, and life is very busy there. Therefore, a contrasting picture is presented here through Scotland and England. My dear children, so we will be starting with this lesson, and here we will see before going for the explanation, we will see the setting. We have already seen the background. The setting also, setting means the time and the place. So this the place we have already discussed. It is the Scotland, and the scenery actually moves from Scotland to England. So how it moves and what are the reasons? So we will see from the story. This story is a very motivating one, and one can learn a lot of lesson from this particular chapter. So before starting, let us see, my dear children, we will go for this. Let us see the chapter. So the first line itself, before we read this line itself, is very much inspiring. It tells, God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. My dear children, here you see some magic word here. So, the magic word is the giving and taking. So, God may be not kind, God may be little cruel in taking away some of the thing like the sense of hearing from Evelyn Glennie. But he has given him such power, the power of feeling. Power of feeling. So, it is a very strong or dominating power. It is a strong dominating sense, and this through this sense, just by using this particular sense, she become a very successful person in the world. Therefore, in this part, we will come to know about this inspiring character, and this inspiring character is Evelyn Glennie. So, in the first part you can see Evelyn Glennie listens to music without hearing it. Is it not somewhat surprising, my dear children? So, here we will see without hearing the music. Normally, the normal people do what? They hear the music and then they begin to appreciate it, they begin to like it, they begin to digest it. But in our case, we find a particular character who never hears. Means she is hard of hearing. Her particular sense is deprived. But what she does? She takes some alternative passes, takes some alternative path, and begin to digest music in such a manner that she became the world famous because of this discovery of this alternative method. So, we'll go to this lesson now, and we'll see. So, what does this writer actually want to tell? So, this particular line, the first line actually is spoken by James Bretz. So, he is also a multi-percussionist, and his observation is so appropriate. It is really true that God may be little cruel in taking away the sense of hearing, but he has given her a very dominating sense of feeling. Therefore, we will see before proceeding, we will see the gist, we will see the main point of the story. So, let us proceed. Let us see this part. So, here we will see Evelyn Glennie was a 17-year-old girl. She had decided to make music her life, but she was completely deaf. So, the main character here is Evelyn Glennie, and she was a teenager. She was 17 years old, a teenager, and what happened? She was a physically handicapped girl, and it was in the age when she was only 8 years old, it was noticed. So, this was the piano class, and when she was asked to attend her turn, means her turn came and she was to perform. At the time when she was called, she could not respond, and because of that, the mother Isabel Glennie thought that something is wrong, and then slowly and gradually what happened, she was hiding or concealing this particular weakness from the friends, from the teachers, maybe from the relatives, friends and others also. But what happened? So, when her performance was deteriorating, when her performance was becoming from bad to worse, at that time the headmistress offered that, suggested that she should be taken to a specialist, means she will have to be taken to an ENT doctor, okay, who will be specialist in the ear, nose and throat. Therefore, so when the specialist was consulted, then it was discovered to the utter surprise of everybody that her nerves were very seriously damaged or impaired, and therefore, all of a sudden what happened? Her life become totally dark or murky, totally dark. There is no color in her life at all, because whatever she sees, wherever she sees, she only notices darkness and darkness. So, her world was filled with murky color, dark color. But we noticed that she was not a girl to give up. She was a very stubborn girl. She was very stubborn. My dear children, you see, she was a stubborn girl. S-T-U, stubborn means very adamant. She was very adamant girl. And therefore she will not simply give up. She will not be simply yielding. She will not be simply subdued. She will not simply surrender. Therefore, what she decided that she will be living a life just like a normal girl. Then what happened? She wanted to perform the xylophone, and although the teacher discouraged her because of her losing or impaired senses, because she could not hear, and therefore the teacher said that you are not fit to perform that, because for that thing you need to hear, and you are lacking in this part. But in your life, some people, some characters, some teacher become very crucial, life changing, and such was the case with our Evelyn Glennie too. And in the case of Evelyn Glennie, who was that character? It was Ron Forbes, F-O-R-B-E-S. Ron Forbes was the character, and he was a very crucial, very important, very pivotal, unavoidable, because he could find the potential, he could find the quality in Evelyn Glennie, and he adopted some measure, he used some method, and this method was a little different from the other, and he suggested that you will have to sense the music. You need not try to hear the music, because this part of your body does not work, and therefore you should not try with your ear you should try to feel the music through the pulse of your body. And when this rehearsal was done, rehearsal was started by Ron Forbes, and when it was repeated, then it was seen that yes, it really worked. This really worked, and that was only the beginning. And from then onwards, she never looked back. She was only proceeding further and further. And then what happened? Then she had to attend a particular interview where she had to give her performance. She had to give her performance, and in the performance, if it is if she is selected, then she will be selected for the Royal Academy of Music. This is the prestigious Academy of Music, and she gave her performance, and she got one of the highest mark, and it is all because of her dedication. So, let us see some of the points in this manner. This aspiring musician feels the vibration of an approaching train, has been selected for training at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London. My dear children, you see, this aspiring musician, so she is now a budding musician. She now aspires, A-S-P-I-R-E. She is an aspiring musician, means hoping a lot. Very much a hopeful musician. So, when she was selected for the Royal Academy of Music, so she was 17 years of old, and she was waiting in the underground railway station, maybe it is the metro railway station, and she could not hear the sound of the train. What she could feel? She could feel the vibration of the approaching town. That train was approaching, and she could feel the vibration of the approaching train. And when the train was approaching or coming nearer, so what was the condition? So she was very much nervous. She was very much nervous. Now, my dear children, can you tell what are the causes of this nervousness? Can you tell what are the causes of this nervousness? The first one is her background. So, what is the background? So, the background we talked about, she was from a countryside or the village side. She was a Scottish girl, and she was from the countryside, and she is going to a very busy city in the world, very famous city in the world, that is London. And therefore she was little nervous. To add to this, as she was suffering from the handicap also, that also contributed to her nervousness. Therefore, these are two factors. One her handicap, physical handicap, another her background. Both these factors actually contributed to her nervousness when the train was coming, when it will be the time for her to depart from her dear country. Therefore, let us continue with the points. Glennie started losing her hearing power gradually from the age of 8 due to nerve damage. Now, my dear children, you see, L-O-S-E, this is the verb form, okay, and we pronounce this word as lose, okay, lose. So she was beginning, or she was starting to lose her hearing power, and it was not sudden. It was not sudden. It was not sudden, or it was gradual. It was step by step. It was phase by phase manner, and it was first noticed when she was only 8 years old. And this was caused by what? This was caused by her nerves, means her nerves were weak, okay, her nerves were weak, and because of this nerves getting impaired or damaged, she was suffering from that, and finally she stopped listening. Then let us continue. She was advised to be sent to school for the deaf, but Evelyn was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. Now, my dear children, a physically handicapped girl, what is your opinion? A physical handicapped girl, he or she should come to the school along with the normal children, or a separate school is to be open? What is your opinion? Yes, certainly. So, she should not be treated as something very different. So, she should be treated as equal to the common child. But here what we see, that the teacher said that she should be sent to a school which is solely or mainly meant for the deaf children. And when it was told, then the parents took her to the doctor. When it was discovered, then it was a great tragedy for them, but she would not surrender, because she was a very stubborn, she was a very adamant, A-D-A-M-A-N-T, adamant, both a jiddi, very adamant girl, and therefore she was determined that she would be leading a very normal life. So, this was the strong determination and willpower in Evelyn Glennie, and therefore it motivates not only the children who are somehow physically handicapped, but for everybody to proceed in our life in spite of our drawbacks. Let us proceed. Therefore, Evelyn was determined to lead a life and pursue her dream in music, pursue her interest in music. Passion. Passion means deep interest. She was very much passionate about music, and therefore she decided that she will make music her life. Now, it is your time to decide what will be your ambition in life or aim in life. She also, when she was only 16 or 17, she decided her future, or she decided her ambition in life. She decided that music will be my life, my future. And accordingly, after decision, after the aim being decided, you can pursue it, you can change it, you can search it, and you can put whatever lever is needed in order to reach that particular target or the destination. Therefore, in this particular case, who are the people that help? Let us see. Most of the people discouraged her, but a percussionist Ron Forbes noticed her potential and motivated her to feel music in different parts of her body. So, let us see into the society, let us see into the school. So, if it happens, then normally the normal teachers, what they will do, they will be telling that, oh, it is the physical handicap, therefore you cannot proceed further. But there are some special or extraordinary teacher like Ron Forbes, and it was he who found her potential. Potential means, my dear children, potential means the capacity or the caliber or capacity. So, it was he, Ron Forbes, who found or discovered the potential, and therefore he motivated or inspired her that you need not hear the music, you need to feel the music in different parts of your body. Therefore, keeping these words, this advice in mind, what Evelyn Glennie did, Evelyn Glennie started to follow the instruction, and while she was playing the drum also, she reclined, she bent forward, she was bending forward, she was reclining or resting on some part of the drum, and then when the vibration came, she felt the vibration, and in this way she can play the drum or other musical instrument on the basis of the instruction given by this great soul, that is Ron Forbes. Evelyn immediately realized higher drum from the waist up and lower drum from the waist down. Now, see, one realization came to the mind of Evelyn Glennie. Yes, I can feel the bigger drum from the upper part of the waist, and the lower drum, sota drum, from the waist down, from the down part of the waist. So, in this way we can see that the drums, bigger and smaller, could be felt by the upper and the lower parts of her body in this manner. During her 3 years course in Royal Academy of Music, Evelyn scored the highest mark in the history of Academy. She got most of the top awards and started giving solo performance. Now, let us see, my dear children. In the beginning of the lesson, we see that she was going to attend the Royal Academy of Music in London, where she was selected because of her performance. And when she stayed there for long 3 years, and she break the history of the academy, because she got the highest mark, unprecedented mark, or the mark that the academy did not see in the history of its creation. And then she got the coveted prizes. She got many prizes, and begin to give the solo performance. She started with the orchestra. She started with the orchestra. Means the group performance. She started with the group performance, and after that she begin to start the solo or the single or the mono performance. Only one person performing. So, in this way she was developing by leap and bound. She was developing very rapidly. According to her, if you work hard and know where you are going, you will get there. My dear children, so it was the particular interview with Evelyn Glennie. When you also become a star, after becoming the star, either into the field of celluloid world or into the field of movie, into the field of cricket or games and sports, then you are taken interview. So the media people will come and take your interview, and they will be asking you a lot of questions pertaining to the magic of your success. So when she was giving the interview, so it was the part of interview. So it is the quote, or it is an extract from the interview, and she was telling to the interviewer, those people who took the interview, she told that if you work hard, means if you are a very hardworking person, and if you know where you are going, means if you know your destination, if you fix your goal, if you know your destination, then certainly you will be reaching your destination. So he gave this particular mantra of success. This is her mantra of success. Now let us see, my dear children. It is fascinating to watch Evelyn working without much effort. She speaks clearly as she could listen till the age of 11. During the conversation, she watches lip movement, faces, and especially eyes. Now, my dear children, so the interviewer came, and they are taking the interview. And you are the person who doesn't know anything, or who doesn't actually listen to the sound. Then how tricky this particular situation is, how difficult this situation is. But how did Evelyn Glennie manage it? She managed it without any effort, because she was very much habituated, she was very much accustomed. So how she got accustomed? While she was talking without any effort. She was talking very naturally. She was talking very spontaneously. She was talking very easily, without any difficulty. How could she manage? So this management is this one. She watches the lip movement. When you are talking, she will be watching the lip movement. And if the person is very bushy, a person having a lot of beard and bushy beard, then what will happen? She cannot see the face, and then it becomes a little difficult to understand what he or she is going to tell. Therefore, in the text, she tells that the people, particularly the man with the bushy beard, troubles me, means the man who is having the bushy beard, the beard which is very bushy, which is having luxuriant growth, actually give lot of difficulty, because she failed to understand it. Have you got, my dear children? So how she managed it, you will see that up to the age of 11, she could hear very clearly, and therefore that is the particular impression. And on the basis of that now that she fails to hear, with that particular impression of the past and with the present movement of the lip, and the expression of the whole face, she understand and she can communicate with any stranger, any interviewer, any people without any effort, just like a common person. Is it not something miraculous? Is it not something very strange, my dear children? Then let us proceed. She had learned French and basic Japanese. Here you see, my dear children, so after facing this challenge of the hard of hearing, when she was very much deaf, she was hard of hearing means deaf, means she cannot hear a thing. After that also she learned the basic French and Japanese language. So both these languages are learned after she become totally deaf. Therefore, it tells that she was really very curious. She was really very curious as a learner, as a student. Therefore, we need to learn lesson from her. Her life actually becomes a living example of inspiration and motivation for all the children of the world. Then let us see, my dear children, while playing instrument, she remained barefoot on a wooden platform so that the vibration passed through her bare feet and up her legs. She could feel music through every part of her body. Have you understood, my dear children? Many times what happens? Many drivers, while they are driving any vehicle like a car, buses or other, they do not use these shoes or the chappals. Why? Because they want to feel the vibration. They want to sense. They want to sense what is what, whether it is the accelerator or whether it is the brake. So how far it is going? Okay, how far it is going deeper? So all these things they need to understand. Therefore, here we will see our Evelyn Glennie also what she did while playing the instrument. She was barefooted, and she was standing on the wooden platform when she will be having no chappals, when there will be no shoes, then the vibration can go or pass to her bare feet up to her leg, and in this way she can play the music, she can feel the music effortlessly and beautifully. So this was another technique that was adopted. This was another technique that was used by Evelyn Glennie. She had been a workaholic and had been rewarded enormously. See, my dear children, enormously means hugely, huge. Okay, huge. If it is the size, then it will be giant. बहुत बड़ा, giant. Workaholic is a new word. It is normally used in the conversation. Therefore, it is informal. Workaholic means work plus alcohol. Means work become a kind of addiction. So it is very difficult to stop the work. Workaholic, and this was her quality. She did not know how to stop the work, means she was very much addicted or dedicated, very devoted to the work, and because of this particular habit, she was rewarded enormously or hugely. Then let us see. Besides a regular concert, she had been given free concert in prison and hospital. Teaching young musicians is her top priority. Her life is an inspiration for all differently able people. Differently able people. So, Evelyn Glennie was a differently able people. It is certainly this term is newly coined. This term is newly coined or newly used. Earlier, people used to tell physically handicapped people. Physically handicapped people. This is a negative term, my dear children. Therefore, the word now is called differently able people. She is a differently able. As you have seen that she is able in some different manner. Now, what are the quality? What are her quality? So, she was always giving the regular concert, means she was performing in different stages, which were particularly the professional one. But besides that, she also give the free concerts, free performance in the prisons and in the hospitals. In the prisons, particularly the people who are jailed or imprisoned, the people who are suffering or ailing into the hospital. So, she gave the performance in order to entertain those people too. And teaching the young children particularly was her top priority. One of the top priority of Evelyn Glennie was to give the teaching class to the small children, young children. Her life is an inspiration for all the differently able people. All the differently able people, all the DAP can get motivated by getting the inspiration from the life of Evelyn Glennie, that if she can, why not I? I can also perform, I can also become better like she. Therefore, she is a living, breathing and motivation. She is an example to be emulated by all the people, either physically challenged or physically well. Then let us see, my dear children. So, during the course of her life, Evelyn Glennie achieved a lot. She got the most prestigious award while she was performing in the orchestra, while she was performing the solo performances, and because of all this, she became the life example for all the people of the world, all the people of the world. So, we will go to the last part of this lesson. So, let us see this lesson, the part of it. Evelyn Glennie has already accomplished more than most people twice her age. She has brought percussion to the front of the orchestra. Let us see, my dear children. So, what is the age? What is the age of Evelyn Glennie? Age of Evelyn Glennie was 17. Class 3 means she was studying in the Royal Academy of Music in London, therefore, she was 20. And after 20, she was performing, she was giving a lot of performance in the world, because she became very famous or renowned person. Therefore, those are people who are twice her age, she accomplished or she achieved. She achieved more than those people who are twice the age of Evelyn Glennie. And her specialty was that she brought the percussion to the front of the orchestra, So, this You will see orchestra is the cluster of the group of the instrument, where there will be drum, tabla and other instrument, and while this performance is done, then you will see that they are actually kept aside. Okay, they are kept aside, they are put just on one side of the stage. But it was Evelyn Glennie who brought this percussion to the front of the stage, not to the side of the stage. That is her one of the peculiarity, one of her accomplishment or success. She has given inspiration to those who are handicapped, people who look to her and say, if she can, I can. Now see, so her life is a living example, and all the people, whether they are physically, particularly those people who are physically challenged people, they can get the motivation from her, that if Evelyn Glennie, after becoming so much handicapped or totally deaf, if she can achieve, then why not I? Therefore, she become a inspiration, a living inspiration for all these people of the world. And not the least, she has given enormous pleasure to millions. Therefore, the artists give what? Artists give the entertainment to the people. And if there is no entertainment in the world, then people will be so unhappy. It will be very difficult to cope with the life, because life is so much challenging. There are a lot of sorrows, pains in the life, and if there is no entertainment, then life will be very dull and very monotonous affair. And therefore it was Evelyn Glennie who gave entertainment to the millions of the people of the world. So this is the end of this lesson, the part 1, the sound of the music, my dear children. Will meet you in the second part of the lesson in the next video. Till then, bye bye. See you again.